Hello, everyone. Thank you for diving into this Inside Out training and those of you that are on here live. I just want to say this. We're going to go over a lot of stuff. There's a lot of great information already up in the app, but the best way to learn about how to do an Inside Out event is, guess what? Do one. And so that's the hands-on experience that builds your confidence and also gets great feedback, as we're finding from guests that you have in the room. And so I want you to know that in the business section of your app, you're going to find not only the slide deck that we're going to share with you right now, but also the questionnaire. And there is a great pre-event, during event, and post-event checklist to give you things that maybe you wouldn't have thought of. Maybe it's like stuff like don't forget to check your Wi-Fi before. Make sure you do a practice run, how to serve the drinks, just all kind of just a little bit of everything to build your confidence and make sure you're prepared pre-event, during event, and after the event. Also up in there is the very first training that we did on the Inside Out slide deck. Since then, we have added, because Sam did another incredible video with Will Watson, we added an additional video and an additional slide. So if you're watching that original replay, you're going to want to know that there's two additional slides that have been added to the deck as well too. That brand new deck is up there. Yep. Craig's showing you where that brand new deck is up there. And then you'll see also, like I said, the printables and another recorded training that I did specifically on the questionnaire and also on the pre, during, and post-event checklist. So now that we've done a couple, I know Teresa Beeman did one yesterday. Nancy Ray has her first one this afternoon. I know Mindy also has her first one this afternoon as well too. So they're happening. They're starting to pop all over the place. And I can tell you guys that whether you have 2 people there or 10 people there or even more people there, like we talked about in our final slide of our Momentum Maker slides last week, don't wait for the perfect timing. Right? Don't wait, or maybe that was the week before. Don't wait for the perfect timing. Don't wait to have a ton of people coming, because I can tell you out of my event that had 5 people at it, that those 5 people I already had booked right after that, like less than a week later, my next event with 4 brand new people. They weren't at the event, but someone at the first event wanted to host an Inside Out event, and she then introduced it to 4 brand new people. And so it's just going to take on this life as you guys, but it's about starting. It's about doing it. It's about having the confidence and boldness to do your first one. And I think as you continue to see the pieces come together, you'll realize that it's really just like getting started on product as simple as 1, 2, 3. Doing an Inside Out event is as simple as 1, 2, 3 as well too. And so that's how we've tried to make it so that we're continuing to create a duplicatable process and system for you to build your business. So we know we've done that with products. We know now that you can explain the income opportunity, the business opportunity with targeted health stacks. So that's been made simple. And then also too now with our tracker and starting with a stick and a story and how to share those stories, and then exposing people with the stick in the story and then inviting them to an Inside Out event will also keep it super duplicatable as well too. So let's dive into those slides. And I want you to see kind of what it looks like. As Craig pulls up this first slide, let me set the tone for your event, whether you do a morning event, an afternoon event, or an evening event, like whichever that is. And I can't see them quite yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it going full screen. So 1 second.
And then Craig, as we go along, you interrupt me and ask questions that you think the field would have, or if you see questions on the side. But let me set the tone as Craig's pulling that up from a perspective of what you do. Okay, so some of you have heard this before, but it's really good to hear it again. When people arrive, the first thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be sampling our stick packs. You're going to be sampling Focus, both flavors when you get the pink lemonade in your house, but both flavors of Focus, Fuel, and Revive. So we've got 4 things that we're sampling, the 2 different flavors of Focus, Fuel, and Revive. And you're going to do that by making up little 2-ounce servings of each of those drinks. So that's 4 2-ounce servings. That as a result, when people have tried all 4 of them, they're going to have a full serving of great focus, of great energy, and they're going to feel product really probably within the first 10 to 20 minutes. Even before you sit down and start sharing with them the bigger picture of Elevate. And that's where the power is. I want us to catch that. It's super powerful to know that as you keep it fun and informal in the beginning, you're building community, you're introducing people that don't know each other. And guys, what we found, and Teresa, I know, texted me and said she found the same thing, that actually your guests kind of start selling each other. It's really funny. I remember it like one of the funnest things about the very first one I did is I had a friend that texted me and said, little known fact about me, I don't do caffeine. I'm like, okay, well then you, and she was bringing her daughter, can just have, you can taste it, you can share it. And so they got there, and when she saw the Revive, she goes, not only do I not do caffeine, but I do not like coffee. Well, fast forward to when we got to the Revive, and the way I made mine was a full stick pack of Revive and a heaping scoop of cocoa with a little bit of cream in 8 ounces of water. And then I put some crushed up ice in my little cups and poured it over that so that everybody got 2 ounces. And so we'll give tips as we go on how to make sure that you're making those correctly. But her daughter took the sip first and was like, oh my goodness, this is so delicious. And mom's like, okay, I'll try some. And she had a sip and she goes, wow, oh my goodness, I don't even like coffee and this is so good. Well, then we had a friend come a little bit late as we were still standing around. We were around the island. You might be at a kitchen table, but we were just hanging out, and the friend walks in and looks at everything and she goes, oh, I don't like coffee. And the non-coffee person looked at her and said, me neither, but this is delicious. You have to try it. I was like, well, that was perfect. It was so much fun. So it's just casual. It's not, you're not selling anything. You're just hanging out and getting to try some fun things. Now you're answering their questions, but you're not saying a whole bunch of stuff that creates questions, right? You're just answering theirs. And, the only real thing I said besides answering a question, I think, was like when we got to Focus. This is usually my go-to first thing in the morning, and it just wakes me up. But just something super simple. Teresa said, so true. Yeah, so true. That she had a customer and a brand new person. So someone that had been a customer on and off, she told me. And she actually, Teresa told me that the customer was sharing testimonials that she hadn't even heard already. So she's sharing it with the brand new person that was there, which was so cool. And then from there, you're going to the skincare. Super easy, super simple. You guys know how easy our skincare is. And so you're just going to want to have like a toothpick or tweezers or tongs or something to get everybody's micellar pad, not sticking everybody's hands in to grab a micellar pad. And then the quick wipe off and then the quick wipe on of the serum. And now they have, within the first probably 15 to 20 minutes, Ace Mannin on the inside and Ace Mannin on the outside, right? Ace Mannin on the inside, Ace Mannin on the outside. And same thing, guys. Everybody was selling each other just by their comments. Ooh, this is nice. Ooh, I like this. We had one person that says she normally doesn't react well to skincare type things, so she just did it on her hand. One thing I did for all the ladies in the room, you would just say, you can, if you want to leave your eye makeup on, you can totally do that. But the key in both parts of this is you do what you want them to do. You lead so they can follow. You take all the samples and you also use the skincare as well. And then from there, it was super simple. Okay, guys, now we're going to transition over and we're going to share more about what Alivea is. And that's where we moved from that informal whether it's a dining room table, a kitchen table, an island, to our area where the TV was, to go through our slide deck. Okay. And so we sat down with the slide deck, and this is what they're going to see. So we'll talk through this real quick, and we're not going to go through every slide, you guys. Obviously, we don't have enough time for that today, and you can see it in the other training that I did, but I want to show you some key places of transition. And I don't want you just to know how to do it. I want you to understand the why behind some of the slides, because I think that will make it make more sense. So as you transition, this is the slide that's there. Just welcoming them, and you're welcoming like to the formal presentation and setting expectations. Okay, so super excited now that you have Ace Mannon on the inside of you and on the outside of you. We want to just share a little bit more about what sets our company apart. And this is what you're going to say before the next slide. This is key. This is really important to understand. This is where you're going to say, and here's the deal, you guys. We know, I don't know about you, but I've been to a lot of these things before. And I know a lot of times you're like looking around trying to figure out what the least expensive thing is that you can buy so you can get out, check it off the list, and never have to come back. That is not what, and I just had fun with it and laughed. I said, that's not what today's about. At all. This event is about you, and we really believe that by the end of today, regardless of how you choose to get involved with Alivea, that you will be blessed by being here. And then that sets up the next slide. You don't have to say exactly the way I said it. I don't say it the same way, but this is the slide right here. This is it. This is the one that multiple, Teresa said it, multiple of my guests have said it, and I guarantee so will the rest of yours as well too. They said this slide right here was huge for me to feel comfortable and to relax and for my walls to come down. Because here's what we're going to say. Hey, before we dive in, we want to show you and share with you how you can find your fit with Alivea. And FIT stands for Friends Inspiring Transformation. So there's really 5 ways that people will tend to get started with Alivea, and by the end of today, you're going to know the place that you fit as well too. And so the first one, and this is also where it's key, guys, it's how this first one gets set up. The first one, we say, here's the deal. After today, you won't be able to unsee what you've seen or unhear what you've heard. And so whether it's through the presentation that you think of somebody, whether it's in conversation with somebody 2 weeks, 2 months, or even 2 years from now, a connector, because they can't unsee what they've seen or unhear what they've heard, they're going to connect the friend with whatever friend invited them today to be a solution for someone with a need. Okay, guys, the walls come down. They're not sitting throughout the presentation then wondering when you're going to pitch them, when they have to buy something, when you're going to whatever. The walls come down when you set this up. And the reality is, guys, my friend even said, she goes, that was so brilliant to start with that. And also, even someone like me could find their fit. And so it's just going to allow them then to receive the information, the whole rest of the slide presentation without being guarded. Okay, without being guarded. So everybody can find their fit here. And so that's the one I spend a little bit more time on. I go, the rest are pretty self-explanatory. You're going to hear some powerful testimonies from people that have been on product with Ace Mannon on the inside and the outside longer than the 15 minutes you have. And so you might just be excited to get started on products. An affiliate, pretty self-explanatory, just naturally shares the things that they love. A partner, and we don't say social business partner because we explain that later, and we don't want to start with Alivea jargon right from the beginning. But a partner is someone that loves helping others and building teams, and that's what I am, like you might say, and that's what I am. And a pro, and you'll know usually if there's pros in the room, but this is great because then they can start thinking of pros they know as well too. You may or may not be a pro, but a pro is someone that's a coach, a trainer, an athlete, a health professional, or even a college athlete who says yes, not only to the products, but there's great opportunity because of their influence with others. And so that's just what we share in the beginning. And And then as a result, we just say, so sit back and relax, and know that today's about you and everyone has a fit here in Elevate. Next slide. So I really, that's the most important thing that I wanted you to see. Then it goes right into, so the rest of this presentation is us sharing with you what sets Alivea apart, and that's our mission, our molecule, and our model. And what you'll find as we go through this is we break it down over the rest of the slides. So if you want to, we'll just show you guys what those looks like. So the next one, I would say, I can't think of a better person to hear about the mission of our company from than our founder and CEO, Sam Castor. And then you're just going to play the video. So what you're going to do, you guys, is you're going to see that all you're doing is...
Did you know that every 5 seconds...
Yep. All you're going to do is you're going to hit next, right? That's all you're going to do. And you can literally read the slides and do this presentation. Okay, next slide.
Hey, Christy,
Yep.
I'm just going to jump in here. So when
Perfect.
people are showing this, you'll hit this button down here, which goes into presentation mode. And so it's just click, click, click. It's really simple. I'm not in presentation mode, just so we can show this and jump back and forth on things. But that's how easy it is. I mean, this video is already integrated into it. Super easy.
Yeah, super, super easy. And then the next slide, you guys, is where you get to talk a couple different things. That first video says that we've already nourished over 60 million. This slide says 65 million, and you guys know we're already at 66 and probably, and maybe even 67 by the time you do your next one, right? And it'll keep growing. So this is where you get to update and say, hey, we're continuing to grow, and also where the social business partners in the room can also share your personal ripple as well. You might want to pull your phone up and show them where that is on your phone, but this is the slide to make it personal. If you've been to Mexico, maybe you share your story, or maybe you or someone in the room shares why the mission was important to you, but you're making it personal on this side. Next slide. We say we have something no one else has. It's in everything we have. That's why it works like nothing you've ever had before. And so this is the bridge from the fact that you have Ace Mannin, you got Ace Mannin on the inside, you got Ace Mannin on the outside, but it's Ace Mannin in all of our products. That's what sets it apart. And so the next slide is, again, now let's hear from Sam a little bit more about Ace Mannin. And so you're going to listen and play this slide or this video next. It's so easy. It's so easy. The next slide is a little bit more facts and really just bullet points. And I even will say stuff because you're planting seeds for how simple this is. Hey guys, I know we can all read, but let me just read this, the highlights of Ace Mannin of our actual molecule to you real quickly. And then I just would go through this. And then the next slide. Here's what people are saying about the products that we had when you came in the room. And so again, if you're the only social business partner in the room, then you can read this slide and share your testimonies. Or if there's other social business partners in the room, then that way you can actually predetermine in advance who's going to share which of their testimonies on each of the testimonial slides that you're sharing. But watch this setup. Here's what people are saying. Watch this. You're going to see it here in just a second. But next slide. Okay, so here's the what people are saying about Aloe Glow and Soothe. Great images and incredible just bullet points. Also a place that you can share some additional testimonies. Next slide. So now we're bridging the gap from Ace Mannin that they got on the outside and the inside, right, or inside and outside. And now let's hear Sam talk a little bit more about where most people will get started, and that's our targeted health stack. And so this is Sam talking about the targeted health stack. And this is helping people understand how simple it is to get started on our product. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not always the best teacher on this because I always forget something. I forgot to talk about the questionnaire. I was getting ready to tell you, and this is where the questionnaire, I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you about that. So the questionnaire that you're going to print off has a spot that actually that literally has them circle what their target concern is. Thank you for pulling that up, Craig. And so here's the thing, the questionnaire, you guys, is a powerful tool. And since I forgot to tell you when to give it out, I would give this out either right before you share the ways to find your fit, or right after, right before or right after. Not when they're doing the drinks, not when they're doing the skincare, but when you've actually sat down. And here's what I would say. Hey, we're going to give you a questionnaire. Hold all your questions till the end, and you can even write them on your questionnaire. But this is going to track with the slides and really help you to understand and find your fit as well. And so this right here, when we get to this section, they're going to be looking at their questionnaire, and they're going to actually be able to circle, whether they're circling it at filling this out as we're going through the slide deck, or filling it out at the end. When we talk about the questionnaire at the beginning, we also say, and at the end, we're going to collect them all, and I'll draw one to give away a prize. And that prize might be 3 stick packs tied together with a bow. It doesn't have to be some big deal. But what you're going to find is this helps you with wrapping up the whole event and following up. When I did my first one, many of you guys know we were getting our house ready here in San Diego to rent, and we had people coming. Like I told all my friends, listen guys, you know how much I love to hang out, and I would love to spend the whole day with you, but you have to be gone by 12:30. I was like, that's like not common at my house. Most times people leave after 12:30 at night, but I was like, you got to be gone. And they all knew, and it was totally fine. And so everybody had to leave, but I had this, and it is brilliant how you don't, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people don't do events because of how awkward it can be at the end. And you're like, okay, thanks for coming. Some of you are great at getting the sale, but that's not a huge percentage of people. Usually most people are like, okay, well, bye. But the questions on here, guys, lead to the answers that you need, not only to know what they're thinking and to help them place an order, but also to plant seeds of vision moving forward. So let me just go through this with you guys really quickly so that you guys know exactly how it does it. So it literally goes step by step, even though you're not going to give this to them at the beginning. It asks them that first question of what they experienced first, and that was products on the inside. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how is your daily energy, right? And they're going to circle that. And then the next question is, do you drink coffee, energy drinks, or soda? Yes or no? Which of the drinks we sampled today did you enjoy? So it was so fun. They some of them circled 1, some of them circled 2, some of them circled all 3, but then you know exactly the product you're following up with them on, which is so great. Do you currently have a skincare routine? Yes or no? And if they circle yes, when you follow up with them, you can say, hey, how long have you been on that? Like, you just know. If they circle no, then you know you don't even like you can just specifically ask them how they what they enjoyed about the skincare. And then the bottom one, I loved, most people circled more than one target concern, more than one target product. One friend, as we were going through the slide deck, she said, what if I want to circle all of them? I'm like, go ahead, circle them all. And she absolutely did. There's her sheet. Every single one of them circled. The next one, which of the 3 things that set Alovea apart are you most interested in? Mission, molecule, or model? Guys, you're going to know when you follow up. If you don't have the conversation right at the end, because you want to have as many of the conversations as you can at the very end of the event before people leave, and you want to help people place orders before people leave. But if you're in a situation where someone has to leave quickly, you're going to know, hey, tell me more about what stood out to you about the molecule, or whichever one they underlined or highlighted. What were you most interested in? Okay, then this is the big one as we transition into would people be interested in the opportunity? When our products work for you, so we're already knowing that they will, would you be willing to share? Yes, maybe, no. You know, right there. There's no question. There's no hesitation. You know. Would an extra $500 to $1,000 a month make a difference for you? Yes, maybe, or no. And then in which area would it make a the biggest difference? Now, the reason we put these 4 on here is they actually are in the section. They're in the section about what people are saying about TeamBuildr. So they're in the model section, and we have one on breathing room, one on eliminating debt, one on new ventures, one on investing. So they're circling the one or writing other. Talk about vision, guys. Even if they place an order that day and you still have their sheet, as they're getting results, you can say, hey, on the questionnaire at the Inside Out event, you said that eliminating debt would be a huge difference for you, that 500 to 1,000. Let's talk more about what that would look like. You're getting incredible results, and you could start bringing in some additional income and get your products paid for if we just went and I came and did an Inside Out event for you. See, so you're starting to understand how to help them with the needs that they're most concerned about, instead of trying to cast a huge net and catch nothing and help nobody in the process. Okay, and then the last 2 questions. So we're coming full circle. How do you see yourself being a part of Alavea? Connector, customer, affiliate, partner, or pro? And then would you be willing to host an Inside Out event? Yes, maybe, or no. And so as a result of that, guys, this questionnaire is why I had an Inside Out event the very next week, because someone circled yes. And I called him up and I said, hey, this is what my schedule looks like next week. I didn't say when in the next year. I gave them a very specific time frame and asked them when they'd want to host it so we could right away do another event. And so this is powerful when you use this correctly. And so that was this questionnaire. We got to see that what we believed was going to work did, and actually even better than we thought. Okay, so let me pause. Craig, do you have questions on that? I know we're going a little bit, well, we had a long pre-show, a little bit longer today, but I want to make sure we wrap with the rest of just clicking through this quickly.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic, and we can answer some of these questions maybe when you finish these last few slides, and then definitely stay tuned for our giveaway at the very end. So if you haven't done it already, just that reminder, go to Facebook at the comment, go to Instagram at the comment. I'm no longer on that Instagram page, but go to the Alavea Instagram page and have some fun and add some comments around this.
Awesome. So just a few more. I want to, again, guys, the best way for you to feel confident and comfortable is to just do one. And you can tell that first group of people, hey, it's my very first one. It would mean so much if you were there. I know that you'll give me feedback, good or bad, and I'm excited for you to see what I'm excited about, right? So targeted health stack video. Then from there, next slide is here's what people are saying. Remember, that was what happened on the drink one as well. Here's what people are saying. Here's what people are saying about the targeted health stack. Same thing, guys. If you know you're going to have multiple social business partners in the room, I would do a pre-Zoom together or conversation if you're real close to each other. Like just get together and talk through, like, okay, who's going to share their testimony when? Because you don't want the slideshow to take a really long time. We want this whole thing. You should be able to get done, including the samples and the skincare, in an hour to an hour and a half tops. And you go with the flow of the people that are in the room, but it shouldn't take you long. So here's what people are saying, okay, is all about the targeted health stack. Okay, next slide. Now here's our model. So remember, we talked about mission, molecule, model, and I would just read this slide. This is where we're that partner we were talking about at the beginning of all the different ways to find your fit. This is that partner, our social business partner model. And then you just read this slide. Okay, next slide. And for those of us that are social business partners, we're team builders. So here's why TeamBuildr is so important. Now, you don't necessarily have to go through these 3 things, but what you do want to go through, see, here it is again. Here's what people are saying about being a team builder. And this goes back to those bullet points that are on the questionnaire. And remember that it would be also a powerful place here for someone to share multiple people, if there's more people in the room, why Team Builder has been huge for them. They can share the financial benefits of why Team Builder has been huge for them, but they can also share the intangibles of being a part of the community, because we're wanting people to catch the community aspect of things. Make sure that you also talk about the financial difference as well, even if it's getting your products paid for or whatever that looks like for you, and the reason why maybe you said yes and what you're building towards, even if you're not there yet. So next slide. And here's the deal, we do everything at Community. So can you see how one builds upon the next? So the last slide, we talked about Team Builder. We talked about the intangibles of what it looks like to be a part of Alavea. But Community, since love is in the center of everything we do, we carry the mission on the inside and we live it out. So there's the inside out again. And you guys, many of you have heard me talk about that word community, and this is where you can also set up the next two slides that are coming, or actually a few slides. You know, community is so important to us. We just feel like everywhere you turn, community means with unity, that there's division. There's a lot of other things that are happening in this world, but it's so empowering to be a part of a group of people that are mission focused, wanting to make a difference in the lives of our community, within our homes, and then as a result around the world. So next slide. So we believe, so this is connecting the community piece. We believe there are things inside of all of us that need to come out. So here's inside out again, right? We believe there are things inside of all of us that need to come out. And typically the only ways those happen are community. And you may or may not be in a community that is encouraging you to become more of who you were created to be and be the best version of yourself. And that's where you can switch to the next slide. And we believe that's because many times it's the power of your words and the words that are being spoken over you. So this is our life-giving segment, guys. This is the spot where people go, wait a second, it was worth being here today. And I could see why it would be worth continuing to hang out with this group of people. And so I would just read this slide and you could say, hey, you might not have a community at all, or you might either over yourself or in the communities you're a part of be hearing more of the words on the left than the words on the right. But here at Alavea, we speak the words on the right. We speak in a way that you're going to see growth and life. And it's so important. So here's where you read the slide. Since roughly 60% of your body is water, words matter. Science has proved what the Proverbs already has said, that the tongue has the power of life and death. So what are you creating with the words you read, hear, and speak, or that are being heard and spoken over you? Speak life. And if you don't have a community that does that, join us here. Okay, next slide. So those are the key ones I think that draw people in, guys, and that help people see the power of who we are, what we do, and our heart. And that's why it ends so perfectly here. Everyone fits, right? So we set it up to end with everyone fits. So friends, influencing or inspiring, transformation, everyone fits. So now what we're going to do is just choose your fit. After everything you've heard and saw, where do you see yourself fitting into Alavea? And then we're going to take action. We're going to take action by leading with love. And so this is just an acronym for the action steps. You know, you're going to want to make a list. Maybe you've already been thinking, there's games that you can even play if that's the type of crowd that you have in the room to help people even create a list. But hey, one of the things you've been thinking of people all this whole time, that's where we start with the people that you desire to help and see their lives being changed. We're going to place an order. We can do that right now, or if you have to rush, we'll connect with a time to do that. And then we want to hear not only the vision that you saw as we went through the slide deck today, but the vision that's stirring up in you and the reasons you would say yes to being a part of this community. And finally, event. Here's our next event, and then that's the next slide, Last two slides. The next slide is join us, come with us, be in the room full of people speaking life over one another, be inspired, encouraged, equipped, and have so much fun as we all go to Dallas together. And so every quarter, since we're building now, those of you that are building traditionally, we're building event to event. Every quarter we'll replace this slide with the next event. So when we get to Impact, this slide will be replaced with the Inspire event. After Inspire, it'll be the Ignite event. After Ignite, it'll be our Focus event. And so we'll just have a different slide that gets added. So you're sharing impact, and I would encourage you to share any social business partners in the room what being at your first event meant for you and why you love going to our events. And then finally, last slide is thank you. Thanks for joining us at our Inside Out event, and join us at our next one. So you're always going to want to make sure that you know you already have on the calendar the next event for when this happens, so that people know to come back. Hey, join us at the next event and bring a guest, or host an event of your own. So that's it. That's it.
That is awesome, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy, Anne's listening to this, and the whole time through, because we've been on, she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is so good." She just shared a comment around like, what a great opportunity to really own this. Even start off doing one with your family or your team. Practice it a couple times so you feel comfortable with, getting out there and having fun with it, doing it. I love what Teresa said earlier. I think it was Teresa said, "I just jumped in and did it." And it's amazing what can start happening as you fuel that excitement. And I think there's a shift going on. We've talked about this at the beginning of the year. There are still a lot of people that are going to want to focus on building via social media and building through that. And that's beautiful because we train on that. We teach that. We help support that. But there's this big shift in the world. People are wanting to move away from AI. They're wanting to move away from fake. They're wanting to move away from this visual screen interaction. And they're wanting to be connected with real human beings. I was at an event last night, and the guy was talking, and I said, "Wait, are you real or are you AI?" And he froze for a second. He goes like, "I think I'm real. I don't even know if I'm real anymore." And then he was like, "No, it's real. I'm here. It's me." And so we kind of, laughed around it. Where I think bringing people together around the sticks and the stories and the love and the community, people are craving this. So to jump in and try this, you've done such a fantastic job. This is so cool.
Well, I had an incredible team of a couple friends help me put it together, but none of it matters until people do it, right? And I want to add on to what you said, because I did Mindy's doing that exact thing. She's gathering social business partners this afternoon to practice it and for everybody to get to experience and get excited about it. So I did a Zoom for a handful of them yesterday to set their expectations so that while they were at the event, they could enjoy it and also see themselves doing it. And two of the girls that were on there was like, that's not my personality style. I don't do, but they're like, I could actually probably do this. But here's the thing. And I love what you said about the social media as well, too. You find your lane, but then you know the other lane options that we have, because you're going to have somebody come on board, even if you're not a gatherer, that really is, and you're going to want to have this opportunity for them to do it. Or you're going to want to partner with another team member or social business partner maybe in your area and do one of these and bring each of your strengths together and know that this is an opportunity for people that do love this option to see themselves being able to use it as well too. So there's such great value in the way Sam has created our social business model, how the compensation plan works, that there's a fit for everybody in that too. And now we also have the different lanes and systems for people to run in to keep it duplicatable as well. So I cannot wait. Please make sure that you get me pictures, whether it's through Facebook or if you have my number, you can text them to me, but get me pictures as you do your events. Teresa sent me a bunch yesterday, and let's do these and know that as a result, we're going to be able to impact more people instead of one-on-one conversations. If you're building traditionally, you want to have that stick in a story to lead to a gathering. Typically, the more exposure someone has, the more likely they are to come to an event. But then you get to round everybody up all together and let them catch the excitement in a room full of people too, which is going to be really powerful. So thanks for letting me share today, Craig. I love Anne's
That's-
feedback too. Thanks, Anne.
Well, it was incredible, and big congratulations goes out to Penny and Nancy. Please put your your flavors here. Oh, Penny's already replied. She said, "Wow, thank you." She's going with the orange. Nancy, if you're still on there, if not, we'll text you. We need your and it's why you want to show up on Saturdays, not only to get this great information, education, inspiration, but also you never know, you might win some stuff. So that happened today. Hey, Chrissy, I want to touch on the last two quick things. One is in the app, we now have all of the Saturday replays that are being added into the app. So if you want to watch this again, if you want to share it with someone, it's there. So it's under a section under the videos. Also want to touch on the fact that we're adding a new section. I think it might already be there, called Alivea Pros. You've heard about the pros. If you're new wanting to learn about it, we did a pro training call this Wednesday. That video is, if it's not there, it'll be there Monday, but I think it's there. And then the last thing is Monday night, we've got our special call with Steve and Sam on our Q&A, but there's a fifth Monday this week. So the following Monday, mark your calendar now. That's going to be for March 30th, I think it is.
Yes.
And we're launching a new sports hydration product, but Sam is going to be doing this overview of the power of Ace Mannan tied into the new electrolyte product that we're rolling out, that why it's going to put it to the most advanced sports nutrition product or hydration product on the market, and why Ace Mannan is going to put us in a category that no one's ever seen before in that world. So that is extremely exciting, but it also will tie in why Ace Mannan's so incredible and everything. And I love that. Ace Mannan's critical for the inside and out. Beautiful presentation, Christy. So much fun today.
Thank you so much, Craig. And guys, don't forget, if you haven't already gotten your Impact ticket, do that. You really want to hop into this. If you're building traditionally, you want to hop into this system of building event to event and seeing your business grow as a result of that and bringing people with you. So don't stop just with your ticket. Invite others as well. You guys are going to be so fired up by this event. And I know it's just the start of growth that's going to be explosive this year.
Awesome. Have an amazing week. Let's have fun. Let's go out there and tell the world about Alivea. Your two winning prizes, Nancy Ray's going with the pink lemonade, Penny's going with the orange, and can't wait to see everybody on Monday night. Have a great day, Christy.
Thanks, Craig. Bye, Ann.